Do you believe in God?
Me?
Creator?
Yeah, so the more I look at the universe, just the less convinced I am that there is something benevolent going on. So if your concept of a creator is someone who's all powerful and all good, that's not an uncommon pairing of powers that you might ascribe to a creator.
We're about to talk about science and religion. And are they compatible? Could you be a legit scientist and yet believe in some God? Let's hear what the famous Neil deGrasse has to say about all this.
As a scientist, do you believe in God?
So in the West, there's 2/3 of scientists pray to a personal God on the expectation it will intervene in their day's affairs. But I can tell you this, productive scientists do not bring their Bible, their scripture, their holy books into the lab because they do not mix there. So they draw a line in the sand and they do one in one place, then they worship on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, whatever is your religious tradition, there. So to ask whether they can coexist, the answer is empirically yes.
I didn't ask that. I asked, do you believe in God?
Every description of God that I've heard holds God to be all-powerful, very typical, and all good.
All productive scientists. Hold up, let me read this. According to a survey mentioned by NBC News, about 2/3, right, he knows this, scientists believe in God. And here's an interesting thing, 41% of biologists do not believe in God, while 59% do.
My name is James Tour. I'm a synthetic organic chemist. I've been working in the field of organic chemistry for many decades. I've been a professor of organic chemistry for almost 33 years now. I've published over 700 papers in the area of synthetic chemistry, and some people view me as being one of the top producing chemists in the world alive today. But if I'm allowed to put on my other hat for an instance and say, there is nothing in the Bible that has been contradicted by a scientific fact. Nothing in the Bible has been contradicted by a scientific fact. There are lots of theories out there, and theories change all the time. Theories in science change all the time. The Bible stands. The scientific theories are changing all the time. You know, that's why having faith doesn't bother me, and I believe every word in the Bible is true.
But maybe he's not a productive scientist. What about the man who led the Human Genome Project, Dr. Francis Collins? Curious what Neil deGrasse would think about him. He is a geneticist known for his leadership. This is someone who oversaw this massive undertaking about mapping out the human genome. This is what this doctor has to say. The God of the Bible is also the God of the genome. He can be worshipped in the cathedral or in the laboratory. His creation is majestic, awesome, intricate, and beautiful. I believe God did intend in giving us intelligence to give us the opportunity to investigate and appreciate the wonders of his creation. He is not threatened by our scientific adventures. We're talking about men such as Lord Kelvin, Isaac Newton, Michael Faraday. Even this survey related. I love science. I really honor and appreciate the gift that science is. But when I hear the things in science that's being discovered, it only grows me closer to God. To see the amazing work of God, and not only his amazing work, but the ability we have to see his creation, to see his science.
The idea that this physical universe should be imbued with this complex mathematical structure that makes science possible cries out for some sort of explanation. And on naturalism, there just isn't any explanation, whereas theism can easily explain it. So the more the naturalist has to just posit happy coincidences, they're just incredible improbabilities, the less plausible his worldview becomes. It shows that his worldview is explanatorily impoverished. It's explanatorily deficient. And a worldview that is more robust in explanatory power is a superior worldview.
It makes more sense to believe in God than not to believe in God. I mean, just think about it. To say that you do not believe in God without hesitation what it does to me is make me look at you as ignorant and extremely prideful. Because you're basically saying, yeah, I know pretty much how the universe works. I know how it came about. And I can tell you there is no God. Dude, you're a little human being. You have no idea how this universe works. You know parts of it, but to go as far as to say, well, you know, God's not real. And now they may flip it around and say, well, why do you believe in God? Why do you believe God's real then, smarty pants? And I'll tell you the reason why I believe in God is because I've experienced him. It's because my whole life has been transformed. It's because when I look at the evidence, I see him, but even more than that, I've experienced him and do experience him. I can't point to any other reason than God for my life. And at the end of the day, I got to make the right decision. I got to look at the evidence and say, you know what? This is what I believe. And the fact that I'm alive and that you're alive right now, the fact that you're observing creation around you, screams that there's a creator, screams that there's a higher power than yourself. There's so much we can learn as Christians, as atheists. But one of the greatest things we can learn is humility, because humility really is one of the most powerful parts of life. It's one of the greatest things of life. To simply say, you know what, I don't know very much. I really don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know that there's something greater than myself, and I'm going to try to find out what that greater thing is.